good. I'll be there. केडी बाहर जाके बोल दे अलग. Hello, hi everyone. So I hope I'm audible. So welcome to Developers Den by Newton School. I am 𝐏𝐚𝐲 𝐀𝐟𝐭𝐞𝐫 and today we are going to start something on this channel which I haven't. So in case you ever wanted to learn front end, if you ever wanted to see how front end actually works, today we'll be doing that. So my video might be a little blurry. Don't worry about that. I hope my audio is clear. So let's do one thing. Let's quickly start a new console and I'll tell you what we are going to do today. So we are going to create a first front-end project that you have ever created. So I'll just set up my desktop for you so that you can see. So what we'll do today is we'll create a random card selector in front end. So in this particular video, you are going to learn a lot of concepts. You'll know how to integrate JavaScript to your project. You'll learn how you can, integrate the CSS files to your project, and this will be your first front-end project where you learn how to create custom styles, where you will learn how to, draw things. You can create anything on your canvas. Like imagine that the website that you see is your canvas, and you have infinite possibilities. That whatever you want to create, you'll be able to create that on your screen. So in today's video, I'll try to focus more on the UI part. I'll try to focus on core JavaScript functions, and I'll teach you how you can, from very basic, very scratch, how you can develop your thinking like a front-end developer. You can develop the coding structure, you can develop your own paradigm of coding, and then you can implement it all in just one file. So quickly I'll resize my screen so that it's visible. So I hope my screen is visible to you. So what we'll do is we'll go to Code Sandbox. So Code Sandbox is an online platform where you can create your own front-end projects, be it in React or be it in any language. So you can either go to Code Sandbox and start creating. I hope my screen is visible. So you can go to Code Sandbox and you can start coding there. Or what you can do is you can just start creating something on your own local file. So I guess the screen is not visible. I'll just resize this once so that the entire screen is visible. So I'll have to resize it further and further. It's still a little larger. Yep. So now it's totally visible, I believe. Cool. So what we will do is we'll go to our local machine and we'll create a new folder. Let's call this first front-end project. First front-end project. And we will open this up in our Visual Studio Code. So I'll be using Visual Studio Code. You can use any code editor you want. I personally like VS Code because VS Code is really fast. It's open source. It's developed by Microsoft. Plus the extensions that you get on VS Code are really great. You can install your own extensions and you can totally customize your code editor. Plus, if you want to use Sublime Text or if you want to use brackets, you can use that as well. All are good as long as you are comfortable with it. So I'll increase the size of my code editor so that you can see on the screen. So what I'll do is I'll create the very first file and I'll call this as index.html. So what is index.html? So right now we are not using any of the framework or anything pre-made. We are just using Scratch. You can see Scratch HTML files, vanilla JavaScript and core CSS. So I'm creating an index.html file. So for any website, index.html file is the entry point. So suppose you are looking at a code base which is really huge. There are hundreds and thousands of files in that code base. Always look for the index.html file. That will be your entry file. So here I'm using one snippet. So that will give me some boilerplate codes. So what we are going to do is we are going to write HTML code here. HTML. So you can see this is Emmet abbreviations. If I just write HTML and press enter, this file will be here. So what you can go to extensions and you can write HTML snippets. So I'll show you what is a boilerplate. So whenever you start writing HTML, you get some pre-made, you have to write some code so that your browser understands that the language that you are writing is HTML. So you can either install these HTML snippets or you can copy the boilerplate code from anywhere, or you can just start like this. So these are known as semantic tags. So HTML is the opening tag, but before this you have to write the doc type, that this is the doc type HTML5 language you are using. So if you ever got stuck while coding in frontend, let me set up my system once again. Okay, right here. So if you ever got stuck that what you are writing, why you are writing a particular semantic tag, why do you have to write this doc file and everything, doc type and everything here, doc type HTML, why do you have to write all these things? Always make sure that you are going to Web3 schools, W3 schools, W3 schools, and you search there. You will get all your front-end related queries solved there, right? So not SQL, just go to HTML. You'll get all your queries solved on W3 schools. It's a great website if you want to learn front-end development. So make sure that you are checking out W3 schools whenever needed. So from here, as you can see, we have to write doc type HTML so that our browser understands that. Also, this particular line is not necessary, but it's good that you have this particular line in your code so that you understand, so the browser can understand that what kind of doc type it is. And then inside our HTML, so imagine HTML as your body. What do you have on the top? You have a head, right? So the first tag that you write is head. And there are two types of tags basically. Some of the tags have a closing tag. So suppose you can see here the head is opening tag and the head with a backslash is the closing tag. So in HTML, these are known as closing tags and these are known as opening tags. But some of the tags are self-closing, but some of the tags are not. You have to close them. So inside our head, this is the head. What kind of stuff do we have in our head right now? In a browser, if you see the header bar, if you see the address bar over top, there you see the title of the website, right? So you can just say title, let's say my website. And how do you open this? If you just open this first front-end project and open this file in your browser, you can see this is the address of your file, which is on my local machine. And you can see the title that we just changed is here, my website. Plus, along with this, you can have some meta tags here. We are not going to get deep into meta tags, and we are not going to get deep into image tags, everything that are in head right now. We'll just focus on the important tags because this is going to be your first front-end project. So next to your head, what do we have on our body? Next to our head, we have the entire body here, right? So we'll again open a tag and we'll call this as body. Now inside our body, we have various other tags that you're going to use. But for this project, let's just use one tag, which is H2. H2 stands for heading 2. So there are heading tags starting from H1, H2, H3, H4, H5. So let's say what we're going to build today is a random card generator. What I'm going to do is, if I refresh it, you can see random card generator is here. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a website where if you click on the generate button, a random card from a deck of 52 cards is going to be selected and displayed on the screen. It might look like a very simple project, but considering that you are creating a front-end project for the very first time, this is going to be very interesting. So random card generator, it's here. And now if you'll see, we don't have any styling here, but still there is some margin given here and here. So what we will do is, we will create a CSS file. So CSS stands for cascading style sheet. So CSS file is an external file that we are going to. So there are three types of CSS, three ways of writing CSS. One is inline CSS, internal CSS, and external CSS. I always prefer structuring my code in such a way that if I want to write something extra tomorrow, I don't have to mess up with the main code. So we are going to do that right now. So what we'll do is we'll say styles.css. Now again, as I told you that there are three types of CSS. If you want to learn more about it, you can say CSS types. And you can just go to W3 schools and there you will see there are inline, external, and internal CSS. So what we'll do is we'll go to index.html file and CSS file is imported inside your head tag that we just created, where we just enter the title. There you have to import your CSS file. So what we're going to do is we'll say link. So link my file. So what we'll say is link and here href. So href is going to be the address of your file, which is just styles.css. So styles.css and close it. So also we'll have to find the relation. So relation is what? Style sheet. Perfect. Now these are called semantic tags, right? So there are CSS selectors. Also, if you want to learn more about CSS selectors, you can go and play online games. There are a lot of games that you can play. So now what we're going to do is we are going to select this particular tag. So to select a particular tag, you just have to write the tag and you can write whatever other CSS you want here. So let's say I'll say background color of my tag, just to show you, is going to be aqua. Now if I'll go to my website and if I refresh, you can see the background color has changed. So this is now my CSS file is imported. What I have to do right now is I'll go to my index and I'll give this a class name. I'll give this a class name of, let's say, wrapper. Now, what is a wrapper? What wrapper will do? This will wrap the entire content that I'm going to write. So, and now inside my styles.css file, to import, to select any particular class of CSS, you just have to write. So let me just check in the comments once. Explain GSM burst structure. Cool. So anyway, so what we are going to do is we are going to change the background color. We don't need aqua color right now. So to select a particular class, we can just write dot and then whatever class name we wrote. So here I'll make the W small casing. I'll save it and I'll say wrapper. Now whatever CSS will write here will be applied to my wrapper div. So let us say I want this to say I want this to be at center. So my wrapper is inside my body. So for my body right now, what I want to display it as flex. So I'll say display it as flex, and I want everything to be at the center. So I want everything to be at the vertical center and at the horizontal center. So what happens whenever you give the property of, you can see each other. So that's how you debug inside your front end HTML files. You just